This is a Fulcrum Technologies screencast.
In this screencast, we're going to cover how to create new groups and subgroups on the Amplify web platform. We're also going to go through how to add users to these groups and subgroups, and then go through an example of how you may utilize groups and subgroups. When a user clicks on the Group Management tab, they are brought to a page that looks a little something like this. For organization admins and analysts, all the available groups within that organization will appear in a list. The group name is down the left-hand side here. The number of users within each group is identified by this icon, and the number of subgroups within that group is identified by the other icon here. In the Details section, we also have information about when that group was created and last edited, and over on the right-hand side here, we can edit those groups with the pencil icon or delete them with the trash can icon. We can search through the groups using the text input up here, and we can choose how we want this group management list to be sorted with this drop-down icon. By right-clicking anywhere on a group, organization admins are able to edit the group name, or they can also do so using the Edit button over here in the Actions column. Either of these actions will bring up this Edit Group pop-up menu, where we can change the name of a group and then go through each of the different user types to add or remove users from that particular group. Once you hit Update at the end of that pop-up, you will end up saving any particular changes made for that group. Up in the top right corner of the Groups Management page, we also have this plus Create a Group button. If I click on this, we're going to get shown a very similar pop-up window to the Editing Group pop-up window. This is where we can create a new group. So I am going to create a group called Tutorial Group. I will be taken through each of the different user types, where I can choose to either select all the users within the organization of that particular user type, or just choose individual users that I want within that group. Once I hit Create, that group will appear in the list. And if I go along and hover over the icon of the two people, it will show me all of those users that were added to that group and their roles. If I hover over the Subgroups icon, it shows me the number of subgroups and the names of them also. To view more details about the users within a group and any available subgroups, we just have to click anywhere on the group. That will take me to a page that looks a little something like this, the Subgroups Management page. On the left-hand side of this line here, the dividing bar which we can adjust the size of by clicking on these arrows, I have the Subgroups Management page. If I had subgroups already available, they would be listed in a table format down here, but as I don't, I can create a new subgroup with this button here. I'm going to create subgroup 1, and what will happen as I cycle through this pop-up window is it will show me only the users who are members of this group rather than all users inside the entire organization. Once I've hit OK, I have created the subgroup, and subgroup 1 will now appear in this left-hand sidebar. On the right-hand side here, we can see all of the participants that are in this particular group. We can add new members to the group from here as well by clicking on this Add Members button, and when we do so, every available member within the organization will show up, and I can search through those by email or name up the top here, and then select and add any new members I want to add to my group. I can also filter by user type by clicking on the different filter tokens up here, or I can search with the search bar. To edit a subgroup, I can either click on the Subgroup Edit icon here, and we will be taken back through an Edit Subgroup pop-up window, very similar to the Edit Group pop-up window. Otherwise, if I click on the subgroup, I'm going to get a more detailed view of that subgroup and its content. Over here on the right-hand side, you see the name here has now changed. participants of subgroup 1, rather than total participants. I can add members here, and that will just add members to this particular subgroup, rather than to the entire group. All of the other features are very similar to when we're managing the group in this same view. Whilst we're here, I'm just going to give you an example of how teams may potentially like to use groups and subgroups. The benefit of these extra tiers of group management is that you can really break down how you want to share your content to different members of your organisation. So, for example, if you had a really large academy organisation, you may want to split your users into different age groups, under 13s, under 14s, under 15s, for example. Each of these could be a different group. Or, if you are a professional sporting club, you may want to split up into first team or senior players, and then a reserves group, or under 23s or something like that, or even an academy group. Then within those different age groups, you could then potentially set up your subgroups so that they had different line or positional groups, for example, forwards, mids, backs, goalkeepers, and so on. You may also choose not to use subgroups whatsoever and just split your entire organisation up at the group level. How these groups and subgroups are utilised is entirely up to each individual organisation, but having the ability to break down users into further tiers just gives users the potential to better manage your groups and the content that is shared to particular users.